Welcome to the Golden Nuggets. This podcast is brought to you by WordPress. Ever wonder why some websites always pop up first? That's SEO magic at work. SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. And if your website isn't up there, you're missing out big time. Here's the deal. Every day your website stays hidden is the day your competitors grab your customers. It's not just about being online, it's about being seen. At WordPress, we turn your website from invisible to irresistible. Simple, effective SEO that gets you noticed, gets you customers, and gets you ahead. Don't let your website be the internet's best kept secret. Make it a customer magnet. Ready to be found? Visit wordpress.com/search. Let's make your website the star of the show this year. Don't miss out.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Golden Nuggets podcast. Today, with me, I have Ame. I forgot to introduce myself as usual. My name is Hanafi. I have with me Ame. And today, our guest is a visionary who has created an app. We have many plans that we want to talk about. Let's introduce Feroz.
Yeah, Feroz. So, Feroz.
Sorry. Okay, carry on.
Feroz is the co-founder of Wokaygo.
Yeah.
So,
interesting.
Can you share with the listeners what exactly is Wokaygo?
Okay, Assalamualaikum everyone, and thank you
Waalaikumsalam.
very much for having me in this podcast. Really honoured to be here. To summarize Wokaygo in short, we want to build something that we can give back to the community, not just something that we want to earn profit from a business. Definitely, we want to earn money, when setting up a business, but we think of the pain points of these consumers, everyone like you, yourself, and me. What are the pain points daily that we encounter, and how we can give back to this community and ensure that everyone can benefit from this app. So essentially, that's where Wokaygo was in a way formulated and centered towards giving back to the community and ensure that this is relevant to everyone and not just a particular group of people.
Okay.
And what services does Wokaygo actually provide?
Okay, we began with the ride hailing, right? I think that is something that is quite popular or quite widely used in Singapore, right? There's so many ride hailing services or PHV. Some people know that as PHV or private hire vehicle. There's like Grab, Gojek, Tada. There's a lot of these service providers, and a lot of times, I'm not sure if you guys encounter this. When you want to book a service, it's suddenly too expensive at that particular time.
There's a search, and then they
Exactly.
decide to check on other platforms.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I myself am guilty of that. Checking different apps. By the time I get to the third or for the fourth app, right, and it may be more expensive than the first app. And by the time if I go back to the first app,
Might even be more expensive.
exactly, the prices fluctuate. So we thought, how can we make this seamless? One of our partners, right, say that, we want to give back to the community. Let's start with this, right? This is something that is widely used, right, relevant, and people can save money. So the community can benefit from it. At the same time, we want to keep it free for the consumers because we want them to benefit. We want them to use it. So that is where we come with Wokaygo and start with ride hailing first, and from there when we pick up the traction, we will move to other services like food delivery, car sharing like GetGo, Blue SG, that kind of platforms.
Okay.
So we want to amalgamate all these daily used tasks into one. Yeah.
I see. Okay, that will be interesting. So right now it's only the ride-hailing part, but the future plans will be the food and also the car-sharing platforms.
Yes, the very near future. Please keep a lookout for Wokaygo. So the very near future, we're gonna have food delivery, and we're gonna have other features as well that is gonna be very centered towards the community.
I
right?
see.
Like retail, all these promotion. I think I'm not sure. I think Singaporeans are very can I say sucker? No? Sucker for promos.
Yeah,
Yes,
I mean, not just Singaporeans. I think you talk about anybody.
Yeah.
If they can save a single cent, they would.
Yes.
Yes,
Right,
exactly.
yeah.
Even if you're talking about sidetrack, if you're talking about Rolex, people like
Yeah.
luxury watches, they are expensive. Even so, they want to get the best price, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's where we are moving towards as well. We want to introduce promotions. We want to let people know that there's promotion here. Leverage on this. Leverage on this promotion. So that the things that we have in place very very near in the future.
All right.
So that means users can just compare the prices for now, right? At the ride hailing. So while you guys are actually listening to this episode with Feroz, please go download, because Spotify will just run in the background.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
and then you
please.
can just go and download. And then if you guys use ride-hailing apps, then this is a must for you to actually download and start comparing the prices for your trips. Right.
Yes. All right. So, this is a tech company. Am I right to say that? Do you have any tech background, or when you venture into this, it's like, because your vision is really for the community. It doesn't seem techy, but this is a tech platform.
Yep.
So the question is, do you have that tech background?
Honestly, no. Zero tech
okay.
background. So,
Zero.
a bit about myself. I actually started off my career as a police officer.
Oh, okay.
Abang Polis.
So yeah, as a police officer, I was in Singapore Police Force for about 8 years, or close to 10. Then I decided to part ways with Singapore Police Force without any plan at all.
Okay.
Right, a lot of people say that crazy, just leave like that, because at one point of time, police force, I really put my hats off to all police officers out there. It's not an easy job as what a lot of people perceive it to be. It's very demanding.
Yes.
Time,
Mentally.
effort, mentally. So at one point of time, I had a discussion with my partner, my wife, and said that, look, I think this is not healthy, moving forward for our family. I have a small kid at that point of time, and I see my boss more often than I see my kids. So that is where I decided to, I think it's time for me to leave.
Okay.
Then my wife was thankfully very, very supportive. Asked me, what you want to do? I'll figure it out after I leave. Because until I take that leap, I will always be, maybe later, next month, next year, that kind of thing. Keep
Yes,
on
will
waiting.
be comfortable.
Yeah, so the fear that I get too comfortable to leave is there. So I decided, let's just take this leap of faith and trust in God of His plans. So I left SPF without a job, and it was a struggle, definitely. And I started off, helping my friend at a satay shop, Kipas Satay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So
just fanning the satay.
at that point of time, a lot of my family members don't know that I left SPF. And at one point of time, one of my relatives saw me. Ni Feroz ni, Kipas Satay. Feroz dah tak kerja polis lagi.
Okay.
A lot of people like, what are you doing, man? I take that as motivation for me to prove to them.
Yeah.
Of course, you need to be having a plan. Right? You cannot be doing that forever. I'm still appreciating to my friend giving me the opportunity to work at his satay stop, Salam Satay. Now it's known as Far Satay. It was a very memorable experience. You get to understand how business works. So that is the first-hand experience I get in terms of business, managing business. I don't manage, but I see how it operates. So after that, I got my PDVL, private hire driver license.
Yeah.
I drove Grab for about 6 months before joining a engineering company and became an engineer with no engineering background.
Okay.
Oh.
So what were you studying back then?
Yeah,
I was
about to ask
studying
the same
yes,
thing.
so I was studying engineering in Republic Poly. So
Okay.
I do not have an engineering degree, and the reason why they hired me at that point of time because of my skill set in Singapore Police Force.
I see.
So at that point of time, they need an engineer that can communicate well with law enforcement agencies.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that is where I came relevant to them lah.
I see. Okay.
And yeah, with that first stepping stone for me, I managed to see the region. I managed Korea, Japan, India, all these countries. I managed to communicate with all these law enforcement agency, trying to promote our product. So it's like a sales engineer, pre-sales engineer.
I see.
So that is where, in a way, I started the track towards sales and business, communication. And finally, after that, I went to a regional sales manager role in telco aspect, telco infrastructure. And that's where, occasionally we meet up with friends, old friends. And one of my friends told me, they have this idea. They want to do something within tech. We have a tech guy. At that point of time, I don't know any tech guy. He knows. So one of our partners is the tech guy. He is very experienced in the tech space. He wants to do something, but he needs someone to run the business end. So that is where I come in and try to provide value to the organization. So with this, they wanted to, let's solve this problem, right? One of the partners said that, the wife suggested, this is a problem that, everyone face.
Yes.
Let's address this first, before going elsewhere, right? So that's why we start the Wokaygo concept with ride-hailing first.
I see. Okay, so am I right to say that after SP, you went for NS?
RP.
RP, sorry.
No,
After
I in a way, I skip NS. I
straight
away,
sign on.
because
sign on.
nak kahwin punya pasal.
Okay. I see. Okay, so you signed on,
Yeah.
got married,
Yeah.
and then you were in the police force for a while, and then you had your child, and then you realized, okay, I'm not seeing my child as often as I wanted to. Right?
Yep.
You quit satay. After satay is
Grab.
Grab. After Grab, and then finally the engineering.
Yes, engineering. Then after that, another
The
sales
telco.
role.
Yeah.
How long were you in that engineering firm?
Engineering about 3 years, almost 4.
3 years, almost 4. I see. Okay.
Okay.
So, am I right to say that all this happened before COVID?
Yes. So when I switched from the engineering role to a fully sales role, that was during the COVID starting to ease.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So 2022,
About
23.
early 2022.
Okay. And then eventually, that is when you left the telco company. That is where you started Wokaygo.
Yep.
Okay, that's very interesting.
Very comprehensive. No, we
Yeah.
don't need to ask all the background. Usually that's what we do. But you listen to our podcast. Is it?
Yeah, of course. Need to
okay.
prepare myself.
Yeah. All right. So, before you start Wokaygo, was there any other businesses that you dabble with? Because like this Wokaygo is really a big feat. What you want to achieve is really huge. I know that you have experience in sales because of your sales job, but any other businesses that you do that you failed where you actually learn and now you're implementing in Wokaygo?
Okay, so I always like the concept of earning money on my own and not reporting to someone. So the first ever business, I won't call it a business, I will call it sideline lah, right? Is I sell korma.
This is basically like what we discussed just now.
I sell korma. So I got this contact from my father-in-law, and he introduced me to this guy. He introduced me lah. He told that, bapak ada lubang beli korma murah. Nanti kau collect kan murah, berapa murah. So my father-in-law likes korma ajwa. It's quite expensive lah.
Yeah.
And they are selling one box at that point of time, $70, 5 kg retail, right, or commonly sold at 140, 150.
Correct.
Okay. So I said, ni macam boleh buat duit ni. I repack myself, make it to 1 kg, and I sell it at $35 or $40 even. People will buy, and people do buy. From all over Singapore, I try to send chain message at the WhatsApp. So that was my first dabble into business. And I really like it, but it's not sustainable unless it's bulan Ramadan lah kan.
Yes, correct.
So after that, come hari raya, haji punya month, I got another, in a way, contact to actually offer korban service. Yes.
Wow. Okay.
So it basically, I just need to get people to commit to or to engage the services. I'm just the agent, right?
Yes.
and everything will be done by the supplier.
Yes.
Certificate, video, korban delivery. So I get a portion of the commission after a customer agrees to take that services. So yeah, this is the few things, and also I
This one no salary, right?
No salary.
So you
It's
just
100% profit base.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So profit based commission based on commissions The more you sell, then of course the more you get.
Then
Right?
after the korban, any other things that you were doing?
Yeah, I dabbled with clothing also actually.
Oh, okay.
So for the clothing one, I started that with my friend, two friends, right? We wanted to replicate what he had, right?
Okay.
My one of the partners was from 40, one of the co-founders of 40, and we wanted to replicate something and make it more inclusive, right? Not only plus size, but everyone else as well. But unfortunately, I have myself to blame as well. As a learning experience that I couldn't commit the time. At the end of the day, when you want to do something, you cannot one foot in, one foot out. You really need to be committed. You need to really ensure that okay, this is what you want, this is what you want to achieve. You really need to go all in to ensure to see the fruit of labor. Because at the end of the day, even when you jual kurma, you cannot like okay, I just send and tidur. Cannot. You really need to engage people. Set up promotion. I have promotion also on my own, because okay, calculate berapa profit margin. Okay, tak apa, kalau orang beli lebih 2-3 kasih delivery free, that kind of thing. So you really need to be into it to ensure that can see the fruits of your labor.
Okay. All this that you were doing, was it when you were still working your full-time job, or were you have already left?
Still full-time job. Even at the start of Wokaygo, again, I did not create Wokaygo on my own. Of course, I have my partners to thank them for that, as well as a collective effort. And at the start, I still have my full-time job, because it's not that we fear that we gonna fail or something like that. We don't know what gonna happen, but we need to ensure that certain things are in place before we make the transition, right? So most of the time I'm still having the full-time job.
Okay. I mean, earlier we had a podcast where we actually answer listeners on their question, and one of the question was, what was the question?
I've been the 15-year.
Yeah, correct. Oh, yeah. So,
but the podcast is not out, guys. So you guys tune in.
No, by the time this episode is out, the podcast will be out.
You think so?
I think so. Yeah, but the question was, if I've been working for 15 years and I want to do business, but I don't know what business I want to do. And then Hanafi asked a question, I can't remember what question, and I told him like, one of the things that you can do is selling something. It can be as simple as korma, because there's a lot of supplier that gives at a very, very low price. The lowest I see for this year is $30 per kg for ajwa. Is it $30 per kg? Yeah, $30 per kg for ajwa, and people are selling at like $65 per kg for ajwa. It's quite normal. And what you mentioned about how you actually come up with your own promotion, how you decided like, okay, if this person buy more or buy less, I need to check my profit margin, all these things. All these skills you can't get from anywhere. You can't even get from school. You have to experience all this, and it always start from sales lah, right?
Yeah.
To a certain extent, promotion, or you just sell kurma, will you buy or not? they fear failing.
Yes.
If you ask any business owner, whether successful or unsuccessful, even the most successful one, they have failed before.
Yes.
You cannot be afraid to fail. And these failures are the one that mold you and also ensure that you are equipped to face similar challenges in the future. You cannot be afraid to fail. When I start, how I know about this korma, I need to know Alia ke, dari mana, grade apa, besar kecil, medium S, all this. Because people ask me, when I first started, I want to buy kurma. This one from where? From
Not sure. Yeah, sure.
You start to hesitate and starter, right?
Then after that, rabak ni macam nak jual. Then tak apalah, lain kali lah. You know, so that even though that's maybe very insignificant, but to me it's really something that I failed to realize that, you know, everything comes with research, everything comes with dedication. Without that, you know, people won't trust you. If you know your things, people will trust you, and it's easier to transact.
All right, I think that's a very good, that's wise words from Feroz, and we'll use that wise words to end off our first part
And transition into part 2, guys. So stay tuned.
Yes.
See you guys. Bye-bye.